Hey guys, and welcome to the September tutorial. I almost forgot what month it is. So we're gonna jump right into it with our Thanksgiving themed tier tray. I'm excited about this one. You'll have plenty of time to paint it and get it ready for the upcoming season. So I'm hoping that we can kind of work ahead on months so that you guys don't feel rushed to get your kits done. So I'm gonna kind of move some of these over to the side. I'm gonna start in, I've already done a little bit of base coating on to some of my projects, but I just kind of give us a head start. So I'm gonna start with the brown on our circular sign here, and I'm using my sponge, and all I'm gonna do is just do a really thin coat of brown on here. And the reason that I'm making sure that this is really thin is because there is some etching in the wood, and I don't want to lose that detail. I really want to keep that super visible, and I don't want to lose any of that. So I'm kind of just rubbing it right over the surface of the sign like that, and you can still see all of that detail. Now, if you accidentally got a little bit too much paint, you could go back in with a toothpick and kind of pull out some of that paint. But if you do a nice light coat, you can still totally see all of the detail on that. So I'm gonna set that aside, let that dry, and I'm gonna do my two pieces here. These are going to be black, so I'm gonna do the same thing, dip my sponge in the paint, and then I'm just gonna do, I like to do up and down dabbing motions. I feel like it gives you just a little bit better of coverage than if you swipe, so I kind of like to do that. But try it out, see which way you like doing it best for you. Okay, and there's that. I'm keeping this kit super neutral, but if you wanted to, you could totally, add in orange and burgundy and all kinds of fun colors. So I'm gonna do a light coat on the frame. There's a little bit of detail in the corner on this piece, so the black kind of makes it hard to see, but I'm just trying to keep it nice and light. Okay, there's that, set that aside. Okay, then we have our letters, and I'm gonna show my favorite little hack for painting letters. I show it like every month, but it's a good one, and especially if you're new to tier tray painting, this can be a game changer for you. So on some of these smaller pieces, just take a little bit of painter's tape and tuck under the edges so you have it stuck to your table. And then I just stick it kind of like on the corner of each of the pieces. You don't want your whole piece stuck to it because you don't want it to break, but it's an easy way to get your pieces from like not flying around the hole all over your table. So then I'm just gonna do white. Oh shoot, I was gonna do those black. Okay, I'm gonna do these white first, and then I'll go over them in black. And then my pumpkin, I know I'm gonna do in white. So these lighter colors will kind of need a few extra coats, just because it's a lighter color going over the darker wood. Okay. And then I'm gonna do white on this piece as well. Can you guys see that? Yes, okay. And then I'm just gonna set that aside and let that dry. Okay, so I did a brown on the background for that one, brown on the background of the pumpkin, and then brown for the back of that too. Okay, so I'm gonna move these aside because I want to let them dry a little bit before I do that next coat on them. So I'm gonna set those over there, and then I have my little pilgrim people that I'm going to work on next. So I have the base coat of black on there, and then I'm gonna go and do the top of his little hat is going to be black. So I'm just gonna take my sponge and paint in like that. Set it aside. You don't have to get the little brim super perfect because we have this little brim piece that we're going to glue right over it. Okay, next we have our little collared pieces, our buttons, her little bonnet. So because these pieces are little, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same painter's tape trick with these two, just so that it's just easier to kind of keep track of everything. And I just think it's easier to kind of keep everything in one spot. So all of these are going to be white, so I'm just gonna stick those on there, and then my buttons are gonna be either black or I'm gonna leave them. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna do quick little up and down dabbing. Now the thing with her little bonnet on her, she's got a little bit of detail on there, so we want to keep that super light as well so that we don't lose any of that. Once we start gluing these pieces together, it'll start looking more like a pilgrim. So I'm just taking my sponge. I'm not reapplying any color at all. I'm just kind of taking what's left on here. And you don't have to go super close to your edge because, like I said, you have that other bonnet piece we're gonna glue on there, but you don't want to lose any of that little detail because that's what makes her little bonnet look so cute. So, okay, then let's pick these guys up. We're gonna move them just up a little bit so that they can dry and we can work on these pieces. So the lighter colors can be tricky sometimes having to do multiple coats, but I definitely think it looks best when you go ahead and let it dry really well and then go back and do your second coat. So if you ever think, oh, it looks a little bit blotchy, let it dry and then go back over it. So I'm gonna do my letters. I had decided to do those in the black. They would be really pretty in the white, but I'm gonna do black for today. If you decide to do your letters white, send me a picture because I want to see what they look like. I think they'll be really cute. Okay, there's that. And I'm gonna pull this little pumpkin off because he's dry, or he's done. I'm gonna set those aside. Probably gonna need a second coat on those. And we have our little buttons, so I guess I'll do the buttons real quick and then a second coat on some of these pieces. I think I'm gonna do the buttons in black. Okay, just like that, super fast, super easy. And then let's do a second coat on the white. we go. There's that. All right, set that aside. And now we're gonna do hopefully the last coat on these guys. The second coat just really helps that white pop. But if you like a more distressed look, it can be really pretty too. Okay, let's set that aside. I'm gonna do a second quick coat on this bonnet because I like I said, I want to keep it nice and light. Because I don't want to lose any of that detail. Okay. All right. One last little coat of paint on these guys, and then I think we'll be good to go. Sometimes you just need an extra little bit of paint. So don't be afraid to go back and do like little touch-ups if you think it needs it. All right, let's start assembling, the fun part. All right, so first is our little framed piece, and I like to put the frame on first and then put your piece in the middle. And the reason I like to do that is so that your piece is lined up and centered with the frame on. It's a little bit more challenging to do it before the frame's on. So get your little glue. With this, a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a ton of glue on here. And I just take it, stick it on there, and then I take my fingers and just kind of line everything up on the edges. And that will let me know that that is lined up really well. Kind of feeling around on those edges. And then just a little bit of glue, kind of just like dots on the turkey. You don't need a ton of glue on these because that glue is strong. And then I just kind of give it a little press. Okay. First piece done. Next is our little pumpkin. So I'm going to just kind of do a couple little dots. This is kind of thin, so keep your glue on this on the lighter side, just so that you don't get a bunch of glue seeping out. And then I'm gonna do the same thing that I showed you. I'm gonna take it in my hands and kind of line up those edges and then give it a little bit of a press. A little bit of glue, excess glue, I just kind of wipe that off. Okay, there we go. Next we have our blessed sign. And same thing, just little dots of glue every once in a while. We'll hold this on there just fine for you. Kind of line it up and then give it a press. There's our cute little sign. This is such a cute kit, I love it. Okay, these are not totally dry, but I think I can get away with getting them on there. So I just kind of dry fit everything, so I kind of line it up where I want it. And then that way, when I pick these up, I can just put it right back where I had it. And I kind of have a visual of how I want it to look. Because you don't have a ton of time to work with the glue, so you want to give it a little bit of time here. So, oops. press. And then press our little letters down. And there's that. I got a little smudge. I'm gonna have to touch that up. Darn it. Let's see. I'm just gonna take my little sponge. There we go. Okay. Now we have to assemble our little pilgrim people. So let's do the boy first because he's easier. Well, they're not hard, but this one just has less pieces. So I'm gonna line this up kind of where I want it. Oh my gosh, this is so, how cute is that? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue right on where the brim goes. Line it up and give it a little press. I must have a little bit of white paint on my finger because I just got another little smudge. Okay, then let's see. I'm gonna do a little more paint on the little collar. Or a little more glue, sorry, what am I talking about? Give it a press, and then he gets a little button in the middle. Okay. How cute. I love that. Okay. Now let's put together our girl pilgrim. So I like to do the same thing, kind of lay it all out. That way I know where I want it all to go. And I forgot to tell you guys, when I was painting the black for the base, I just kind of went right across and I just sort of used my sponge and just kind of dabbed right across like that. I didn't do anything crazy because this is going to cover it all up. So you don't have to really worry about getting, you know, a perfect precise line because that will cover, it'll be all covered up. And then she gets a little apron. How cute. So if you want to add a little bit of dimension to her apron, we can kind of just go around the edges with the brown sponge, and that will just kind of give it a little bit of dimension. Okay, so let's get her little, let's see, glue her little collar on here. And then the top of her bonnet goes on. Like so. How stinking cute is that? And if you want to add, you know, like a little dimension to her collar, you can do that. To her little bonnet, I'm just kind of dragging the sponge just right along the edges, just to kind of give it a little bit of distress, just a little something going on. Extra, a little bit of detail is always nice to add. Or you could leave it plain, you know, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, there's that. And then her little button. And I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of white to his hat just to give it a little more dimension and maybe around. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. Just like a little added detail. Like I said, you can totally skip that, but if you, I don't know, like a little bit of extra detail, it's fun to kind of add that in. So I got a little crazy there. I'm just gonna rub that off. Pat it over. I just want it to be like a subtle addition, nothing crazy, you know? Okay. And then this one, I could do a little bit of the black, or even the brown would be cute too. There we go. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys is I think that these are, the Pilgrim people are so cute. They need a little stand on the back so that way they stand up in your tray, just because I think they're just so cute, you know what I mean? So that's what these little pieces are. So the little half moon fits right in there and it glues onto there. So what you'll do is, I'll show you here on her. You'll take this little piece, and you can do this on any of your pieces. I recommend doing it on the Pilgrim people, but if you want any of your pieces to stand up on their own, you get 2 of these in your kit this month. So you'll just center it on to the back of your piece. And then this little guy just fits, oops. Kind of wedges right in there, and then they will stand up on their own. And then you have like 2, you know, little Pilgrim people that stand up. I thought that would be cute, so that they could be next to each other on your tray. Okay, so that's the little stand. Just a little extra to add into your kit. And then when you're ready to store it, you can just take that piece out. I wouldn't recommend gluing it that way, unless it's wiggly. But if yours fits in there good, then just sort of slip it in and out. And that way you can, when you put it away to store it, it's easy to store. So here you go, guys. Here are all of our pieces. I love the neutral vibes of this kit. You can add in like fall foliage with this. I think the wheat that I put in last month's box would be absolutely perfect with this. And then wait till you see your freebie. Well, you've probably already seen it if you're watching this, but the freebie is so cute this month. Next month's kit is Christmas, you guys. So we're already gonna do Christmas for October's kit. That way you have all of November to get it painted and displayed for early December. Or even, you know, if you decorate right after Thanksgiving, you will have it ready to go. So I'm trying to work ahead because I know these next couple of months are busy. So that's why we're doing Christmas next month, and the Christmas freebie is really cute too. So anyways, I hope you guys love this kit as much as I do, and just wait for next month. Next month's kit is going to be stinking cute. I can't wait to show it to you guys. But I will see you guys later. I'll see you for next month's tutorial. Don't forget to send me photos of what your kit and your tray end up looking like, because everyone is so creative. So I love to see what you guys come up with. Anyways, I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye.